Good day everyone, I am Marianine Yacias Calikas, and for today we will be discussing about cyber or digital literacy. But first, let's have our learning outcomes. First is identify the risk, safety, and responsibility with the use of ICT. Second is demonstrate how to improve digital literate fluency. Third, promote the importance of digital literacy. So what is cyber or digital literacy? So it is the ability to use information and communication technologies to find, evaluate, create, and communicate information requiring both cognitive and technical skills. So we all know that in this generation to the 21st century, we have different digital platforms. So just like the Google, the Facebook, and everything. So it says there that cyber or digital literacy, it is somehow information and communication technologies to find. So for example, is if we were going to find some information regarding to the certain topic or matter, or example what is noun, so we can find it in a Google. Next is evaluating the informations that we have, if it's reliable or not. And next is to create. For example, just like the PowerPoint presentation, the Microsoft Excel, so it's somehow it will be a gateway for you to create a presentation and also to communicate information. So just like the best example for that one is the Messenger. So we all know that is the fastest and easiest way to communicate with other people, especially to our families abroad or even in this country. And also, it is requiring both cognitive and technical skills. So we all know that, as we observed before, the ways of teaching is using the visual aids, or we say the traditional one. But right now, since there are different technologies that we can use in teaching, just like PowerPoint presentation, laptops, and everything, so we can use also with that as our authentic materials. So that's why the technical skills is very important to really know and deepen our understanding to the different applications or softwares that we can use in teaching our students. So there's a lot of skills that we can acquire in knowing the cyber or digital literacy. So first is the critical thinking skills. So when we say critical thinking skills, it is our ability to evaluate and made our own conclusions to a certain information. For example, if there's a poem or an informative speech, we are not only taking it as what it is to that certain infos, but rather we can have our own understanding and opinion as well as to what does it really mean. Next is the reading skills. So we all know to the advent of technology that we are in right now, so we can observe the different digital platforms to use in reading skills. Just like in elementary department, they are using different videos, presentations coming from the YouTube or different other applications that can be useful in reading skills for the students, especially the elementary. Next is the communication skills, which is very important and very crucial because it is somehow a way for us to understand and to be united with each other through the communication. So it is helpful, even though it is non-verbal communication or verbal communication or online and physical communication. So it's very important to have that certain skills to build rapport to other people, and also it will promote socializing with different kinds of people that will help us to understand and learn from the experiences that they had. Next is writing skills. So we all know that it is also a basic skills that a student must have, because without the writing skills we cannot read nor understand to the sentence or the words that is being presented to our teachers. Lastly is the information management skills. So this is also crucial, just like the communication skills, because as a student and also right now in this generation, it is very important to really deepen our thoughts to the information that we get, if it's true or not. So we must really understand that not all the informations that we see in Facebook or other digital platforms is reliable, but somehow we must consider to the resources where it comes from. So that's the skills that we can get in cyber or digital literacy. So, did you know that digital natives do not always mean that they are digitally literate? So, when we say digital natives, these are the persons that are very experts in softwares or even in technical issues or technical skills to different digital platforms and also the technologies. So let's find out why they are not also digitally literate. So there are ethical obligations that we can consider in using our different digital platforms, not only with the experts but also as we human who are inclined with the different technologies. So first and foremost is think. We must think what we share, we must think what we do comments, and we must think before we click, because we will not be knowing if it has a negative or positive effects towards the other people, especially on Facebook. So we can see that if there's a people who are being bashed, so even though we are not really involved with the story or the issue, but somehow we are also eager to get involved with ourselves just to have the sympathize of the other people. Next is take care of technology equipment. So it is really important to take care of the technology equipment for us to be preserved, that the other generation can use it. So it is somehow will be workable in computer labs in the school. So next is explore appropriate and safe sites for learning and research. So this thing is very important, especially if you are studying, because not all the resources in Facebook nor in the Google are reliable. So it is very important to consider and to think if that website is reliable. So fan facts, it is, trivia. So in getting or in searching an information, so you can only visit to the sites .com, .gov, and .edu, because it is the most reliable sites rather than Wikipedia. You cannot use Wikipedia because it can be edited with the different kinds of people. So they might change the informations to that site. Next is copyright law, fair use act, and creative commons matter. So copyright law, so it's very important to give citations to the owner of that information, even though it's only a picture, a quote, or anything. So it's very important to give credits to the people, to the rightful owner, to avoid to get in act and be in jail. Next is help prevent cyberbullying. So one must really understand the importance of really preventing the cyberbullying. So it is very common nowadays. We are very sad to say that it is observed right now, the cyberbullying, but somehow I think the authorities are trying their best just to avoid it. So it is very important as an individual that we must be really careful to the things that we are posting online or even we are sharing online. Self-image is important. So this is somehow relatable to the pictures or videos that you are posting online, if it's has a good or bad impacts to other people, and also within your reputation. Next is make use of netiquette. So when we say netiquette, it is conduct or rules that you are observed in the internet world. So one must know and understand what are those netiquette so that it will avoid any chaos in social media platforms. Next is always give credit to original source. So just like I've said earlier regarding the copyright law or fair use act, so it is very important to give credits to the people who are really the owner, especially in research. So it's really important to have or to give citations to the authors or even the people who behind that creative images or thoughts. Next is remember to the effective, thoughtful, and ethical creations. So it's really important to remember the effective and thoughtful, not only with the positive impact within ourselves or the advantages that we can get, but also the advantages that we will share to other people. So that's the ethical obligations that one must possess or must have in internet world. So there are 8 elements of digital literacy. So first is the CU or the cultura, which is how to behave. So it is really important for us to know how to behave in a certain manner in the internet world. Next is the cognitive, which is how to do. So how to do or how to post online, or what are the things that we are be posting online, if it's negative or positive. Next is the constructive or how to use the different social media platforms in a good way. Next is the communicative, so how to communicate. So it's really important to really understand and to use the social media platforms, not just only spreading the information but also in communication. But in my opinion, it is really important to have a connection with your loved ones or the people who are important to you in physical matter, not only with the online or the internet world. Next is the confident or how to belong. So this is really important in the belongingness or the socializing with different kinds of people. So it's just not only work in the internet world, but it is very important to know your circle. So it is not really advisable to meet the standards of the society or to really change ourselves just to be acceptable in the society. So you can be your own way, because we are unique in our own way. Next is the creative, so how to make. So for example is the different social media platforms or the digital platforms that are useful not only in ourselves but also in our studies. So just like the PowerPoint presentations, Microsoft Excels and Word. So it's very important to how to be creative in presenting different topic. Next is critical, so how to evaluate. So it's very important for us to know on how to evaluate the informations that we heard or even read in the online world, especially in Facebook, because we all know that there's a lot of fake news, there's a lot of rumors spreading online that are not really good. We're also in our minds or even our emotions or the physical thoughts or aspects in our lives. Next is the civics, so how to participate. So it's very important to be active citizen, not only with the physical aspect but also in different social media platforms. So there's a lot of contests or even leisure that we can get in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and many more. So that's the 8 elements of digital literacy. So lastly, why is digital literacy important? So for me as a student and as parent educator, so it is really important for me to know the digital literacy because it will be helpful for me to use it in the near future. For example, in my teaching field, I will be no longer using um, the traditional way of teaching, which is the Manila paper and the pencil pen, but hence I will be using right now the different social media platforms and the different technologies that we have, just like the PowerPoint presentation, which is very common, and also the video presentation that is very helpful for the students to have a better understanding to the certain topics. And also it will be helpful for me to acquire and get different examples in order for them to understand. And also it is really important that nowadays we have to be in the norms, which is the using of different technologies. And as I've observed also, the students are really good and in using different social media, so that is somehow we can relate to each other, and that is the importance of digital literacy. So thank you and God bless. I hope you learned something from my discussion.